What if I told you you can have a significant and positive impact on your number of visits to your shop every day by doing one simple thing? Hi, this is Leslie Chandler, and I'm back this week with part 2 of Etsy Stats 101 as promised last week. This week I'm going to be talking about one thing I do every single day for about 30 minutes or less that has significantly increased my visits or views to my shop and ultimately sales this year compared to last year. All right, here we go. So the very first thing I do after I get my coffee and get settled down every morning is I come into my little office and I open up Etsy. And I look at Etsy and I go straight to my stats. So again, we're going to start here. And I always like to measure myself on a daily basis by the month. That's my measuring tool that I look at. And I compare each month to the last and to last year, same time. Okay, so for example, let's look at this time period for October, the whole month of October for last year, 2019. And we can see that I had 1,685 visits, 28 orders, poor conversion rate, not very good conversion rate, and the revenue of 781, which was really very good for me for last year compared to other months. But let's go down here and then look at the views, and that means the number of times that people actually clicked on things while they were visiting, and that was 2581 times. So, and I could also actually kind of look in here and see what was hot in October. So I can go down, scroll down and look at the top things that sold. I could do a sort by my top selling items. And at the time it was a little senior ornament that I did, a Christmas ornament, and a little Halloween costume, and then one particular baby shirt that I did. So anyway, that's interesting to go back and look at your last year's numbers if you've had a store for that period or that long of a period. But let's compare these numbers to this year, same month. So I'm going to go back in here and do another custom search, and I'm going to put in 2020 here so we can just compare the months and then apply that. And now we can see that I had 2,551, which was a lot better than I think it was 1,600. And then 79 orders, a 3.1% conversion rate, which is a little bit better, and then a lot better on the revenue for that particular month. And I had 3,960, just short of 40 of my goal for 4,000. So I didn't make it, wah, 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 but I will next month. But we learn from looking at these numbers because it only makes sense that the more visits and views that we have, especially if we have a fairly good conversion rate, meaning, you know, we've done all the things possible to make our items attractive to the shopper so that they will actually buy the items. So what I'm looking for is, first thing I want to see my number of visits, okay? And then I want to look at orders, of course. And we always want to pay attention to our conversion rate because that's our indicator of how many of those visits converted to sales, and then revenue, of course. But then what I do is I go down here, I scroll down, and I look at views. That's the number that I really focus on daily. That's the number that I put on an acrylic board with a wax pen every single day. I have an acrylic board that's turned into a calendar, and every single day I write down my number of views and my number of orders. So at this point you might be saying, well, is that all you do is just look at these numbers and record them? No, that's not all I do. But I look at those numbers every single day to see if the things that I am doing are having an impact on increasing visits. And so to figure out what you can do to increase your visits, you have to dig into this information a little bit deeper, like we talked about in the first part of this little training series of Etsy Stats 101. So you have to see what's bringing in people to your shop. And I kind of play a little game with me against Etsy. And I love everything that Etsy is doing for us in terms of advertisement and different things that they do to increase visits to our shop. But I like to play a little game with myself to see if I can beat them. So, and I never do, but I keep trying. And some people will see, like I noticed last year, there was a few times that I got close. So in other words, during this little very short time period from November the 1st through the 6th, Etsy brought about 69% of the visits to my shop. And so you have to know what each one of these things are and how they brought people from these areas. And so you can read up on those by clicking or go back and look at my other video. The link is in the description of this training. And even go to the Etsy help pages. They have so much information that'll help you understand these things. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning what these things mean. But the way I try to be proactive is look at these areas. Now, my direct and other traffic, which basically means direct visits to your shop, visits from blogs, news sites, and any other website that sent traffic to your shop. So I've really been pretty low in this department, and I've started thinking lately that maybe I need to learn more about getting people who write blogs to write about me or send people to my shop. And so I'm studying about that. Haven't really developed that yet too much. So let's go back. And one of the other things, and this is my biggie, because this is the one that I understand the most, is the social media. And that means, by using things such as Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, and Pinterest and things like that to bring people to your shops. You have to learn how to create content that gets people to come into your shop. And hopefully, like I said earlier, your conversion rate is pretty good in that you have great photos, great descriptions, great item titles, great tags, all of the things that will get them to actually buy. So in other words, we can't just passively look at these numbers, or we can't passively, build our store and hope that they come. We have to be constantly posting and talking to others about our shop and promoting it. We have to stay relevant. The internet is highly active and people get bored really fast. So we have to stay relevant by constantly putting content out that brings people to our shop. So this one I understand. I do pretty well on that. You can see I'm up 55% from this same time period last year. Direct and other traffic, I'm down 13%, and I admit that I don't really understand this one too much, and it's something that I need to study up on. And then this year, I just started participating in the Etsy ads, and I'm learning more and more about that. And as I learn more, I'll share that. But right now, that is not my strong point. But anyway, look at these things every single day. Learn everything you can about each one of these areas. What's bringing people to your shop, and capitalize on that. And look at the things that you need to improve on. So I hope that you enjoyed this little quick tutorial on, something you can do every single day to start improving and increasing the number of visits to your shop, and hopefully converting those visits to sales. Just start it. Just get yourself a calendar. Even if it's not an acrylic calendar on the wall, get yourself a paper calendar or whatever, and start recording your numbers and making yourself goals, be it visits or views. And like I said, my goal is 4,000. It's pretty lofty. But That's what I'm shooting for, because that is a lot more on the average of views compared to last year every month. And so I figure if I can keep a good conversion rate over 2.9, and hopefully increase that conversion rate by doing all the things that I can do to make my items buyable or attractive enough to buy, then the more visits, the more views, the more chance for sales. So I hope you enjoyed this. I thank you for coming by. I hope that you'll hit that like button. I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button so that you can kind of grow along with me as we learn everything we can to improve our business in Etsy shops. Thank you and have a great weekend.